All right. It's your boy Drak'kar. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use the cosmetic mirror. So we're going to start off down here in this bottom left corner right here, where we got player scale and edit characters. So first of all, we'll start off with the edit character. So when you click it, it's going to take you back into a similar menu to when you started, which will allow you to adjust, your character's size, skin color, overall height, body composition, head, basically all of your regular stats that would change the size of your character regularly. It's going to let you adjust those again. The one thing it's not going to let you adjust is going to be your character's hair and beard. That's not really going to help you. So, you can go through here if you decide you want to change everything. You change as you do. Make sure that you hit apply character, which will then apply it to your character, and then we're going to hit, for you, once you hit apply character, it'll kick you out. For me, I'm going to hit cancel because I'm not trying to change my thing. Next, we got player scale. So, to give you an idea of how player scale works, let me go ahead and back out of here real fast. So, as you can see, my player scale is about level with this right now. So, we're going to go ahead and open the configuration menu. That's me at 0.88 because I like to make my character a tiny bit smaller than what he was. So we'll just see just the difference right here from 1.1. So if you decide this is all you want to do, then you can just skip all the way over here to save file, finalize. We're going to do this real quick just so I can show you the difference as far as this height goes. We'll hit confirm, and then boom. You see that little jump right there? Now my character's head is slightly above that. You can actually go all the way down to 0.6. That is the lowest it will let you go. If you were to see, like, when we do it here, I can go up. It's only going to let me go down to 0.6. If you try to put it at 0.5, 0.4, anything below 0.6, when you save and you come back in here, it will force you back into 0.6. So again, we're going to go all the way to the end because we're just adjusting the height. We're going to go ahead and hit finalize. Then boom, you see now I am micro-sized. So if you were to just do that, obviously you could be this small, but then if you wanted to take it a little bit further, you could even go into the edit character after putting that at 0.6, and then we'll go back to the overall height, and I could actually, they're tiny, like super tiny. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply character, and that saved it. Again, we're going to go all the way over to save and load finalize, and then here we're going to hit finalize. And then even smaller. Now it didn't have a huge effect just because he is already so small, but that's going to get you pretty tiny. One thing you will notice, and that I've noticed, it's not as easily seen when you're this small compared to being big, but when you're this small, if you look down at his knees are kind of cocking backwards. So while we're talking about that, if I was to go in here, put my character back at the height that he was, I'm going to max that out real fast and do basically the opposite. So instead of making him small, I'm going to go ahead and make him big. The max is 1.5. Again, if you try to go 1.6 and you save it, when you come back, it's going to say 1.5. So one more time, we're going to finalize. And then now, I am a freaking giant, okay? So one thing you'll notice a little bit better here is you notice that the character's legs are kind of bent backwards. Depending on what armor you're wearing, it might not be as noticeable. But if you don't have armor on, you can definitely tell. It almost looks like your legs are backwards. So keep that in mind when you're adjusting. We're going to go ahead and put this back at 0.88 just so that my character can go back to being normal. And then next thing we're going to have is these three options up here. We got skins, eyes, and markings. So first off, we're going to have skins. Default skin's always going to be selected. But let's say, for instance, we wanted to, add some fur to my character. You got to select it. And then after you select it, you need to hit switch parts. If you don't hit switch parts and you start adjusting, it's not going to do anything. But as you see, it just covered me in fur. Same thing would be if I wanted to do saturated skin. So now I'm saturated, or lizard skin. Boom, now I got a lizard skin. And then you can even go a step further. Once you select these, you go over here to this little thing right here, and you have a couple options. Region 1, you could either do it like this. You pick your color. Let's go with red for an instance, and you can pick, basically the tones of it, whatever. Or, if you're good with the numbers on it, you could even go in and do numbers. You can just, whatever the numbers. I don't know what the numbers would be for these number codes, but if that's what you like to do, then you could do it. So you got that option. And let's say, oh, I did this, I was messing around with it, I don't like it anymore. We're going to hit X. It's going to immediately kick you back to having your regular skin, which is basically this. It's same. Same thing for your eyes. Now, if you notice about the eyes, you're going to have the first one, it's going to say default eyes. The second one's going to say fully colorable eyes. So, default eyes, if you adjust it on all here, in my experience, this is not going to change anything. If you go to customize, fully customizable, it'll give you 3 sections. In my experiments, which let's go ahead and zoom in on my face real quick, which down here in the side, depending on what system you're on, as you kind of do this, it will give you your options down here and kind of tell you what buttons you need to press in order to pan. For me, I'm on PC, so mine are a little different. But as you can tell, it's not going to let me zoom in any further. But you see like the redding in his eyes a little bit? That's coming from this third one. These 2 right here, maybe it's me because I'm colorblind. It may possibly me not. Maybe y'all see a bit different. But I personally don't notice it in his eyes. It might be just because it's so small. Who knows? But that's how you would do your eyeballs. And then you got markings. So markings are going to work very similar to how the skins did, you know, depending on fur or whatever. So as you mark these ones are going to immediately throw themselves on. And you can actually stack all of these on top of each other if you wanted to. So you just got to make sure that as you're going through, if you selected something you didn't want, go ahead and hit X. We'll just go ahead and take them all off. The other thing is reset color parts. So let's get all these deselected. Let's say you did do the tiger stripe thing, you know, and it's red. It's this, you know, whatever weird color. And you're like, oh, man, I really don't like that, but I don't remember what the base color was. Just hit the reset. It'll kick you right back to whatever the base was on it. And then, you know, for me, I don't want it, so I'm going to go ahead and hit X. So that's going to explain this first section for you, okay? Next, we're going to move on to parts. This is where it gets a little fun, in my opinion. So you're going to have, obviously, all of these different selections. We got head, we got body, we got limbs. Limbs don't have anything. But you got head and body. So these are going to be like your tails, which if you just put them on, again, it's just going to immediately turn, please. It's going to slap it on. And, you know, it will let you, once again, it will let you stack every single one of these things on top of each other. I've never seen that before. That's kind of crazy. But we're going to take them all off. And for this today, we'll just use, I don't know. We'll just use a raptor tail, for instance. So, again, whenever you select it, it's automatically going to select it, and you're going to have multiple different color patterns. Each one of these is going to pertain to a different spot on there. Unfortunately, I, once again, am colorblind, so I'm not going to try to explain that to you. But as you select through, you'll be able to adjust them similar to how we did with the, like the body parts. So, the part that I feel is the most complicated part of this entire thing is going to be this section right down here. Your parts customization. So this is going to be location, rotation, and scale. So location is, everything works on an XY axis, so location is going to show you where it goes. So like this, we're going to put 2.0. As soon as I click off, you're going to see it. You see it kicked up a little bit, and then Y. Let's go with a little bit more dramatic so that we can see it a little better. Boom. That one kicked it over to the side a little bit. So now it's like off-centered. So it also goes into negatives. So 8, excuse me, -8 would kick it over to the other side. So depending on what you want to go, left or right, whichever orientation it is, it's going to be negative numbers to positive numbers. Z is going to determine how far away from your character's body it is. Depending on how big you make your character, this might be a little bit further out. So that's 0.6, and that's going to be further in. Negative is going to send it out a little bit more. So depending on what your character needs, you might need that. That'll adjust that. Then the next one down is going to be rotation. So again, this one is going to, with our X, you'll see, boom, it's going to rotate it kind of up and down more. Let's say you wanted that tail, or for whatever reason you want to put it a little bit more of an angle, so we'd go boom, and that would put it down more at an angle. Or for whatever reason, let's say it's low and you got a high tail for some reason, we'll go with this just to make it a little dramatic. So boom, that's going to see that. That's going to change it, and these are kind of drastic. They go from 360, it's a full 360 degree range both ways, and that's on all of these. The thing that gets kind of weird, depending on what you're doing, with the location and rotation specifically, is your location. Like, if you put the center of this tail right here at his back, and then you decide to change this rotation, that rotation might kick it up like you saw earlier, and then it's going to make it look like that tail's coming out of the middle of his back. So then you'd have to go to your location and adjust it maybe out a little bit more with the Z, so that, like, that thing would come down a little bit more, and then the location, you pull it out further so that even though it was at that angle, it would still fit to that tail. Then, down here, you're going to have your scale. Again, this is pretty simple. X is going to make it wider. So if we went like 20, boom, you got a fat tail. For those, like, maybe you're playing as like a gator or even a snake or something, you're going to be able to do that. Did that just knock it to 20? Is 2 the max? Yeah, 2's the max. Okay. See, so I'm learning something. So 2 is the max, and then I'm guessing it's not going to let us make a negative number. Just because, yeah, no, 0.1 is 0.1's flat. So this one, I guess that makes more sense, because then it would just literally not exist and turn itself inside out. So it's going to go from 0.1 all the way up to 2, 2 being the widest. And then your Y scale is going to make it taller. So 2 again. Boom. That is a jumbo tail. Look at that tail, bro. Okay. And then your this one is going to make it longer. Boom. Look at that. See, so this will give you a good idea. That's crazy. Of what I meant by whenever you start changing, like, your sizes and your scales and rotations and stuff, everything's going to change. So, like, if I wanted to, for some reason, make this to where it was at his back, we would go even a little more than that. We'd go like 50, negative 50. That's going to put it there. And then Y location, again, negative 50. Which, oh shoot, that's even going to be more. Oh no, my bad. That one we'll leave at 0. It's this one that we wanted, negative 50. Boom. That's going to be further away, so then we go 50. Boom. And then, see now, he's got a jumbo tail. So, depending on what your size, your orientation, whatever it may be, you might have to play with it a little bit. But these generally are just going to be how you do it. And then, let's say you want to start over, just click on them, put them back to 0. And then, boom. You're back to normal. Except for these are not at 0. These would be at 1. My fault. So, there's that. So, just to give you a refresher, your location, X, Y, and Z. X is going to move it side to side, positive being one way, negative being another. Your Y location is going to move it up and down. Again, negative being one direction, positive being another direction. Z is going to adjust the amount of distance that the said ornament has from the body. The rotation, X is going to turn your tail left or right, whatever it may be. Y is going to make it go up and down. And then Z is going to do the same thing there. Scale is going to be from 0.1 to 2. 0.1 being the smallest, 2 being the biggest. X is going to make it wider, Y will make it taller, Z will make it longer. And that same thing is going to pertain for all of these things, even your helms, like horns and stuff. It's going to be the exact same mechanics, okay? So you make sure you select them. These are tusks, those aren't horns, that's my fault. So like horns, you're going to be the same thing. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to be, you know, for whatever reason, we'll just do that. That didn't go right. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So you can just play with these and kind of move the pieces around depending on how you want to do it. You're going to adjust this. It definitely takes some time. So if you're going to mess with this, just come into it with a patient mind. So that's going to cover those things. Next, we're going to go over to accessories. Accessories, that's going to have the exact same mechanics as previous when I was speaking about the parts. So if you're curious about the X, Y locations, Z locations, etc., then reference back to the previous part of this video. For now, we're going to go over the rest of it. So with some of these items, like your glasses, these are going to be items that you can wear regardless of what helmet you have on. It may look weird if you're wearing a metal helmet and you decide to put a Franklin glass on. It's going to have those glasses over the top of that mask. Your captain's hat, I think captain's hat, let's see, the mask works. Some of these are weird, you know. So, where's that? Is it on? It looked like it was on for a second. That was weird. But yeah, so some of them are, some of them don't work. Like we've had experiences with some of the other items where they do and don't work. But similar to the other things, once you put these on, it's automatically going to select it. You can select your color regions. You can start playing with your colors. But mind you, these are not hats. Like they're skin, they're part of the mirror that's going to go over the top of it. So like for instance, my character's hair is still going to be over the top of that. So that's where this location and stuff would come in handy. You would make it wider, bigger, whatever, so that it fits your head properly. Then, no implant, hide specimen implant. This one's actually kind of cool for the fact that we don't roleplay being like actually on Ark. So if you click it, hide specimen implant, it should theoretically hide your specimen implant whenever you go. Some of these, which like this one I think will take into effect when we hit save. Let's go back in and check. I don't know. See, so like some of them might not work. So you just got to kind of trial and error it. Some of it may, some of it may not. Cowboy hat does work. Holster will hold it permanently. It's not going to have a gun in it, but it is a holster. Backpack, same thing. It's going to have that bag on you right there. You can adjust the colors of them. You can adjust locations, so on and so forth. You can even change your underwear. So that your underwear underneath your stuff is not the base stuff. You can change it to whatever you want it to be. You know what I mean? And then obviously for your female characters, and then you're going to get that. You're going to be able to do that with the same thing here. Adjusting the size on these, you really don't need to. Good, it doesn't even let you. You won't use that. The one thing you will use is your colors. Same thing though, if you decide that you've been playing around with it and you want to, you know, you just want to fucking go back to it, and you hit the, boom. Oh, my bad. You hit the reset colors, and then bam, it'll stick it right back to the reset colors. Now these, if you read these are hide shirt, hide pants, hide hat, hide boots. So I only have my shirt on right now, so this actually kind of works out. But if I were to hit it, then boom, it's hidden now. So any armor you put on, anything you do, you'll do that. The one thing to keep in mind is if you hide your hat, and you also hide your hat from the emote wheel, when you take this back off, it might confuse you, and you'll be like, what the heck, this thing is broken, blah, blah, blah. It's not broken. Just make sure that you hit the emote to not hide your hat, because I personally did that, and I was very confused, and I went and was like, hey, this isn't working, and somebody showed me. So I felt better about it. Hair, super, super simple here. Okay, so we're going to select whatever hair we like. For me, it's this one. And then, again, colors, it's similar to how you would do in your when you're making your character. You'd be able to adjust the tips to the regular. You can adjust the size of it, you know, so if we collect this one, it's not going to let me. So boom, I can change the length of my hair. And then tip color, you know, if you wanted to have a lot of tips, or the full tips, whatever it is, you can adjust the distance that each color is covering on your hair. Same thing for facial hair. Eyebrows, also, if you're changing your character's hair color from a light color to a dark color, make sure you click on this and make sure you change those eyebrows, because otherwise you'll end up with a character that has dark hair, dark facial hair, and bright eyebrows. Bones. Highly 10 out of 10 recommend you do not touch this. I will say here, as it says right here, you're going to use this one at your own risk. Personally never touched it. I played with it one time, and it was very, very confusing and very, very buggy. 10 out of 10 would not recommend touching that. So we'll just skip right past that. Tattoo system is currently disabled, so when they fix it later on, I'll just have to re-update this video so that it actually pertains to it. So as you go through these and select all of your things and everything that you're doing, you know, throughout all of these things, the big important thing at the end of it is that you hit finalize. Do not hit escape. Do not back out, because if you back out, it will delete everything you did. Then also, if you wanted to, like you wanted to save it, let's say you have multiple, you know, for whatever reason you change your character around a bit, or maybe you made a character size and you really like it, you want to save it on for a later character, like if I would have done that with my my Leonin character last season, Drak'kar. We can save it, and then you can load it. So, for instance, if I was to just mess all of this stuff up and I was experimenting and I was like, oh man, I really can't remember how I got to that, then it's easy. You just come back, you slack it, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. At the end of it, you're going to go ahead and hit finalize. At that, we'll close it out. It'll save everything to your character and you'll be good to go. I don't know about this create template button. Let's go ahead and click it real quick. Create template. Yep, no idea. I'll get back to you guys later on that one. So, for now, that's going to be how you adjust your characters. That's how you can save it, so on and so forth. If you guys have any questions, you guys know.